Hello everyone, Cindy Salomon here with another edition of the Home Game Man. In light of recent events, I decided to change up my schedule a bit and decided to talk about a game hosted by the late Alex Trebek in a home game format. Now, I already did High Rollers, so one of the few other board games that he was featured on that he came out with, which I was able to find, is Jeopardy. And this is the 1992 Tyco version of Jeopardy. It's kind of interesting because in the early to mid-90s, these games would normally be done by Pressman. And as inclinated by one of the current iterations of Wheel of Fortune, it is still done by Pressman. However, in the early to mid-90s, it was Tyco that had Jeopardy, and I think there was a version in the mid to late 90s that were done by Mattel, believe it or not. But anyways, we got the Tyco version of Jeopardy. We're going to break this thing open, take a look at it, and I have a really good feeling about this one. I saw a lot of commercials for this version of Jeopardy, and it honestly kind of looked like a Podia-styled version of the board for this, and it really drew my attention to this game where I kind of wanted this game, but it never came to be. So we're going to break this thing open, talk about it, and we'll tell you more from there. Well, here it is, the Jeopardy home game. Let's break this thing open and see what it looks like, and there's nothing in it. Good talk. See you next time. No, I'm kidding. Right here you have all of the questions and answers, or answers and questions, as this is Jeopardy. As you see, there's a bunch of them right here. A lot of fantastic trivia for you to fawn over. So, but everything would be down here. Oh. So we have the towers and more questions and a whole lot of Jeopardy cash. And to be honest, this looks really good. Although do wish they had chosen a different color for the 1000 compared to the 100. I know it looks a little bit darker, but it's kind of hard to tell. I do like the purple 200 and the green 500. I don't know, maybe make the blue for 1000. Or red, you know, kind of like Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy or something like that. But what you have to do is set up these pillars. The game suggests one per pillar, but you know, a full game of Jeopardy doesn't do one, it does 6. So you would be looking at this side, so how you would set up this is for regular Jeopardy, which would be London, you would put the London category right there, but in front of it would be this, where the dollar amounts would be shown. And you would open this up to see the dollar amounts between 100 and 500. Now, personally, this setup looks like the old board, but to me it doesn't matter that much. The old board, I mean, from 84 to 91, before they rejiggered the set and you had the awesome bongo theme that played from 91 to 97. So while everybody's looking at this side, you would be looking at this side. Or, wait. This side, they would see. You'd be looking at this side because it's color coordinated. Blue for regular Jeopardy, red for Double Jeopardy as the set change for 91 to 97, especially 92 when this version got released. So with that as being portrayed, you would set up in a circle like this. However, because we are game show nerds, well, this would be double Jeopardy. This would be your setup for regular Jeopardy. And we have to pull these forward and tilt them to give you a good identification of what they would look like. Now, they came out with, you got 6 of these for a maximum of 6 players, and you would play 5 of them. But we went ahead and set up as many as we had, because I am missing one of the $100 to $500 cards. 100 to 500, 200 to 1,000 cards. So, just setting them all up as much as I can, given the small space.
And a lot of these are falling apart because they keep because these are still pretty old.
Well, not really. It's just that whoever had this originally didn't really take good care of it. Judging by how a lot of these pull things aren't up to snuff anymore. Now, I only have one of them because I missed one, because otherwise
it would show
like,
the question and answer.
Yeah, it wouldn't show hardly any of the question answers, because you would look at it in the back. To
the other people that were playing. Mm-hmm. It would show the other questions.
Right. So if you were hosting, if you wanted to do a full game with 3 of your friends, all of them having old school clickers, like from the Art Fleming or the original produced Alex Trebek version, which I'm kind of sad I didn't pick up at a swap meet for $3, mainly because I didn't have the ones. You would set them up in Jeopardy style, like the board, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do. Not with this space. No, not with the space. Because if we can widen out, that's what it would look like. Because you would need a big table to pull this off.
The best we could do is probably like play this long way, use the long ways of the table, but
desk, but
it would all need to be cleaned off.
Yeah, and
we've already cleaned off enough for the main game, so.
Yep. So this is what it would look like, and looking back at it now, it seems a bit cumbersome and clunky. Although it looks pretty cool. Now I only see why they released this version and the deluxe edition. But for every other release of Jeopardy, they had the traditional, 5x5 board, which is a little bit easier to make and produce, because this is kind of a production. While it looks great, it's a bit of a production, and when you want to play something pretty quick, this Jeopardy kind of isn't it. I mean, there are newer versions of Jeopardy that went back to the old stylings of the Fleming era, and they look good. But this version, to me, if I'm doing a home game, this is kind of too much of a production. There's too many moving parts. To the point where if you're gonna buy it for the awesome box art with early 90s Alex Trebek and his smiling face, the arbiter of intelligence nowadays.
May he be fondly remembered.
Absolutely, Garrett. And screw cancer. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the home game. I'd still say pick it up for the box art, but everything else,
Yeah.
Nah. I'm going to say no. What do you think?
Yeah.
Nah. Alright, it's no for me, dog. Well, I hope you enjoy it. Well, I didn't talk about the gameplay because there's not much to talk about. It's Jeopardy. You answer questions, you get cash. You get them wrong, you lose the cash.
But as a Jeopardy, you give the questions to the answers.
Yeah. I guess the biggest problem we have is the setup is just too cumbersome for us to actually enjoy Jeopardy. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. I think I'll play some Jeopardy on the NES. Maybe that'll cheer me up. Anyway, or not. What time is it? Oh, it's almost time for some corned beef and cabbage. Yummy. Anyway, it's going to do it for us. Hope you enjoyed the video. Rest in peace, Alex. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to back us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameShowGumbo. Until next time, this is Cindy Seidelman saying bye-bye and screw cancer.